bed. Over here I planted corn straight down the middle of the raised bed here, and then I planted watermelon plants all along the outside of the raised bed here, and I put plastic down, or weed fabric down in this bed as well. They say watermelons do very well with black plastic laying down because it helps keep the soil a lot warmer, and they like that. And so just want to wait and see how well all this black plastic does as far as the melons are concerned. If it works well, I'll keep using it. Not only that, it keeps the weeds away. And then the corn is coming along nicely. The corn I'm growing here is called Kandy Korn, and it gets about as big as the silver queen corn that I've grown in the past, and it gets up to about 8 or 9 feet. And as you can see in this 4x4 bed here, I planted some corn straight down the middle of the bed, and I planted some watermelon on the outside of the bed here. And this is basically to save space, but also the vines do help keep squirrels and other critters off the corn. Some people grow cantaloupe around corn, some people grow squash around corn. Squash would probably be the best because the vines are a little more prickly, but I really wanted to grow some watermelon this year, so that's why I planted the watermelon there. Let's talk about what kind of watermelon I'm growing here on the outside of the corn, and that is sugar baby watermelons. And sugar baby watermelons are one of the smallest watermelons you can grow. They grow 8 to 10 pounds, and they only take about 75 days to harvest. And as you can see, I got quite a few of them around here, and I believe I have about 6 plants all the way around the outside. You can see the vines are spreading completely around the corn and through the corn. And I actually do have, and I believe I saw one over here somewhere, a melon forming on one of these, if I can find it here. There you go. There's a watermelon right there. Just a small one. It looks like it's fertilized because the flower on the end did die off there. So looking good. You can see them trailing all the way around the outside of the bed here. So looking really good so far. And the corn I'm growing here today is called Kandy Korn, and it is a variety that grows 8 to 9 feet tall. So it gets about as tall as the silver queen corn I've grown before. It is also a sugar enhancer variety, and what that means is it stays sweeter longer on the stalk. So it can stay 10 to 14 days on the stalk and still be very, very sweet and retain a lot of its sweetness. So I'm very excited to try Kandy Korn. I've never grown this variety before, so just can't wait to see how well it turns out. But I do have to try and keep a lot of the squirrels off of it because I have had problems with squirrels in the past, and that's one of the reasons I did grow the watermelons on the outside here. I may try some other methods to try to get rid of or try to keep the squirrels off the corn. So if anybody has any good ideas on how to keep the squirrels off the corn, let me know. I really didn't plant a whole lot here. I only planted about 14 stalks down the middle of the raised bed, and that's about all I had room for. I probably could have planted maybe a few more stalks, but I didn't plant enough in the seed tray to put much more than that in here. And I actually started these corn plants and the watermelon both in seed trays in my greenhouse. And in case I didn't say so, the Kandy Korn also only takes 75 to 80 days to harvest, I believe. No, I'm sorry, it's 80 to 85 days to harvest, and the watermelon, the sugar baby watermelons, are 75 days to harvest. Corn and watermelon bed here, and as you can see, it's doing very, very well. The watermelons are winding the whole way around the bed, and it looks great. Let's take a look. I got quite a few watermelons going there. There's one, and I believe I got some up here on this side. There's one there, and there's quite a few other ones in here as well. But overall, the Sugar Baby watermelons are doing great, so I can't wait to harvest some of these. And the Kandy Korn just keeps getting taller and taller. It'll get about 8 foot according to the description, so might be another month till I get some corn off of these, and maybe a month till I get some watermelons as well. As you can see, the Kandy Korn has already tasseled and gotten pretty tall. I think they're only about 6 feet tall, not quite as tall as I thought they would be. They say they can get up to about 8 foot tall, but doing very well. You can see they're starting to silk, and they're all looking very good at the moment. A nice kind of a reddish purple color there on the silks, looking very nice. And then the watermelon are coming along just fine. As you can see, I do have one watermelon growing there. There's still a couple down here on the end as well, and there's a few there that I didn't notice before as well. There's one right back here, another one right here in front of me, and there's another one. So quite a few Sugar Baby watermelons popping up now, and I hope they do very well. It looks like some of the leaves are starting to get a little bit of a yellow tint to them, like they might need some fertilizer, so I might have to fertilize them soon. But otherwise, doing very well. Kandy Korn and the Sugar Baby watermelons are both doing very well. You can see the Kandy Korn has tasseled, and a lot of these silks have come out. And if you get up here and you take a closer look, you can see a lot of the silks are starting to dry out, and that is a good sign that they have pollinated well. You can see this cob right here is starting to fill out pretty good. I'd say it'd probably be another week or so before these cobs fill out, and hopefully we can try out this Kandy Korn to see how good it is. Now, until I pick some of these, I want to make sure I keep the squirrels off of it. And as you can see, I've actually tied some pie pans around quite a few of the corn stalks here. That way they bang around a bit to keep the squirrels off. And I've never tried that before, so I'm curious to see how well it works. But so far, the squirrels have not tried to get in the corn as of yet. They have gotten a few tomatoes, but that's it. I may not have as many problems with squirrels as I've had in the past, probably because this year we actually took out the big walnut tree that was here in the back, and so that may have helped out a little bit, because the tree was actually dying and they were climbing all over it. So getting rid of that tree probably helped minimize the squirrels this year. But they did get a few tomatoes. And moving on, we'll take a look at the Sugar Baby watermelons here. You can see I do have some watermelons there. There's one right there. Another one right here. There's two. And another one here. That's 3, 4, number 5 over here, and I think there's quite a few other ones here that haven't got quite as big. You can see right there is a small one, and so the Sugar Babe watermelons are doing pretty good. Right now they're kind of small, and I hope they keep on getting bigger. They look like they haven't grown quite that much in the past couple days, but hopefully they're not stunted or anything, but they seem to be growing a little bit slower, so I'm not sure how they'll turn out, but hopefully good. Maybe they're just slowing down just for a week or so. Maybe they'll pick back up, but I don't grow watermelons too often, so hopefully they do very well. And as you can see, if you look up close here, the squirrels have gotten to my candy corn again this year. So far they've only gotten 2 ears of corn. There's one on this side, and then there's one on the other side there. They tore that one to shreds. But as you can see, the pie pans that I placed around the raised beds just did not work very well. And I think basically it worked for a little while, but then they got used to it, and then they still ate a few cobs there. But after this happened, I actually went out and I got some repellent spray, animal repellent, called Repel All from Bonide, and I actually sprayed it as a barrier on the outside of the raised beds here along the pea gravel. And since I sprayed that, it's actually been, they've actually gone away. They haven't come back and eaten any more corn cobs. So hopefully that's something that keeps working for me, because in the past I have actually used bird netting, wrapped it completely around the raised beds, and all sorts of other things to keep them off, but they did not work. Even when I put bird netting around the raised beds, they still got a lot of the corn that was on the outside of the raised beds. It was along the outsides. So I'm going to continue to use that and spray it around the raised beds, and maybe that'll just keep them off for good, hopefully. Maybe I'll start using that every year. But now we'll check up on the sugar baby watermelons. You can see there are quite a few small watermelons in here. Most of them have not gotten much bigger, so I don't think a lot of the watermelons are actually going to get that big. I think the heat that we had in mid-July kind of stunted the plants, or the watermelons a bit. There in mid-July, it got up to about 98 degrees on some days, and the watermelon plants were wilting, so it got way too hot. And I watered it as much as I could, and I think that might have been what stunted the watermelons a little bit. But they still may turn out good. They just might be smaller than usual. All right, let's go ahead and pick a few of these corn cobs to see how well they look. There we go. Very nice looking ear of corn there. I have several more I'm going to pick, but those look really good. I'm probably going to throw these in the pot today and eat them. So looking great. We'll go ahead and pick some more of these. Here you go, everyone. I just finished picking at least 8 ears of the candy corn, and as you can see, they look very, very nice. Some nice thick ears of corn there. So I can't wait to sink my teeth into some of these, and I'll probably cook them up today. And it's time to pick our first sugar baby watermelon for this year. And as you can see, the tendril on the outside of the watermelon has turned brown, and that's usually an indicator that the watermelon is ripe. Also, another way to tell would be to pick up the bottom of the watermelon and look at the color. You see that yellow color there? That usually means that it is close to being ripe. And we're going to go ahead and pick this. We're going to see how it is. And I don't expect it to be that great because it is smaller than what I expected. Some of the watermelons have been stunted because we had some really high heat conditions. in mid-July, and the plants started wilting, and I think that was the main cause of the watermelons being stunted. But I'm still interested to see how well it does. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here, and then I'll take it inside and see what it looks like. So just to see how much it weighs, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the scale here. And it looks like 2 pounds, 1.9 ounces. So definitely a lot smaller than what most sugar baby watermelons are. They're usually about 8 to 10 pounds. So definitely a lot smaller than what it should be. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it open here and see what it looks like. There you go. Actually doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite here and see what it tastes like. Wow. Actually very, very sweet. I thought that maybe because it was a lot smaller than the other ones that it wouldn't be that good, but it's actually very good. Alright, so not bad for such a small watermelon. A little disappointing that it's a lot smaller than I wanted it to be, so I definitely wanted some that were about closer to 8 to 10 pounds, but as you can see, not bad. Really good color, tasted nice and sweet, tasted like a watermelon should. So better than nothing, but maybe things will work out better next year. I'll definitely be growing more watermelon next year. So thanks for watching, everyone. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.